welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, this is my channel where I talk about coding. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm so happy that you're sticking around and coming to see me again. So it's been a little bit since my last video. Sorry, I'm just fidgeting with my notes here. I think it's been about 3 weeks, and thank you for being so patient. I was traveling and got pretty busy, but I have 2 projects for you guys from the Odin Project. The first one is the library app, and then Tic-Tac-Toe. So we'll get right into those, and then afterwards I have some announcements. All right, so let's bring it over here. All right, so here we are at my portfolio, and we'll start here with the library app. So the library app, the point of the library app was to be able to store and update an array of books that was the library, so that if a user adds a book, blah blah, da 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 da, you can see it in their library array. So if I pull up the console and I type in, I'm pretty sure I called it library, yeah, library, you can see that there's one book in there. So the point was to be able to keep track of this array and update it as the user puts in more input. As far as like the challenges of this app, there's a lot of bugs that you don't really think of. Technically, I'm not even really finished with this because one of my main things I wanted to do was to be able to edit a book. And right now it's kind of broken. I think if you edit the book, you know, this little bug pops up, which is fine. But I guess with all of the functionality and input that you can get from the user, there was just a lot of bugs that I didn't foresee. So I'd be coding along, everything be great, and then a bug would show up and I'd be like, oh my God. And I had to literally rewrite this entire thing. I was like partway done with it, and then I had to back up and rewrite it. But it was pretty fun. I learned a lot. For the actual Odin project, the only requirements are that you can add and delete a book. So the edit is kind of extra. I also added these shelves. Right now they're just read and unread, but eventually I want to be able to make it so that if someone comes to use the library, they can make their own shelf where they can put like groups of books. And I was planning on doing that, but it was a little more than I could handle, which is fine. Because in the Odin Project curriculum, they do say that you do come back to this project, mostly so that you can add data storage. So when I come back for that, I'll probably add in the shelf stuff. I think I'll be a little more able to handle that. So as far as the success, what I'm super excited about for this app is that I was actually able to make it responsive. So the trick for me that I learned to make this responsive all the way down to the size of a Galaxy phone is not something I got from the Odin project. It's something I kept hearing when I was looking at other videos and tutorials online. And basically the idea is that you should start styling your app at the phone size, at the smallest resolution. That way, when you start going up, it's a lot easier than trying to shrink it down, if that makes sense. So that helped a lot, and I'm actually really happy with the responsiveness. So that was fun. As far as the actual coding, I did bring this up. So this is part of my code. You can see it on GitHub if you're interested. What I learned with the coding is using this class. That was interesting. I don't have a lot to say about it, but also I was starting to practice giving, like delegating a lot of tasks to functions rather than just, I guess what I have been doing is more like I would have a function doing too many things. And what I learned is that if you create functions for every little task, you can reuse them in the code. And I'm not going to say that this code does that very well, but I was starting to use that. So that was cool. All right, so on to Tic-Tac-Toe. This was the next app. And the point of this from the Odin project was just to create a game that either you and the computer can play or you and one other person. So right now mine is built to just be you and one other person, or just you with yourself. So if you press O, that's your turn, and then it'll automatically switch to X as the next turn. And you've got win states, and it'll tie. Hang on, I gotta think about the tie though. It'll tie if you tie. Yeah, the game is tied, and then it'll start over. So just like with the library app, you're supposed to store the game in an array, but this time it's a two-dimensional array. So here's my actual game board, and every time somebody clicks on a box, it updates the array game board. So if I were to click, well, you can actually see it. If I choose X and I click here, and then we go and we look at my game board, you'll be able to see, oh God, what is that? That's not my game board. You'll be able to see that X occupies that spot. So that was fun. So it's more updating and keeping track of arrays, but this time it's for like a game state. The other really interesting thing about this was having this function for deciding when somebody wins. I'm not going to go into huge detail, but let me tell you, it was a lot of math. I had a lot of help because I've been streaming on Twitch, so people will come into Twitch and help me out. I had a lot of help for checking for a win. And basically, anytime somebody clicks a space, this check for win function fires off, and it checks all the possible win states. It checks the array to see if any of those win states are valid. And if they are, whoever it is just won. So that was really cool. As far as challenges, I would say basically just updating the array and doing that game logic was the most challenging. And as far as successes, I would say compared to the library app, this one is a lot better about using and delegating tasks to functions, like I was saying earlier. I could probably still do better. In the Odin project, one of the requirements for this one is something like try to have as little global code as possible. And I definitely have kind of a lot of global variables, but I do also have a lot of functions that I use in multiple places. So I think I'm getting better at that, and that's really fun. I think that's all I really wanted to cover for those two projects. So kind of a quick video, but yeah, I had a lot of fun doing either of them. I guess we can look real quick. This one was pretty easy to make responsive. So same thing, it's responsive down to a galaxy. And I really did not work on the styling as much this time because I was really focused on the JavaScript. So it is responsive, and again, I did start the styling down at the resolution of a phone, which did help. All right, cool. So let's take it back over here. I do have some housekeeping, some exciting stuff to talk about. So I think in the future, because it took me like 3 or 4 weeks, I don't even know how long it's been, to get a video out, I think in the future what I'm going to do is just do a video every 2 projects. Because I don't think 1 project is enough for a single video, but I think 2, especially with how big they're getting, seems like a better goal to me. And then also, I just wanted to bring up that a lot of people in the chat have been, or in the YouTube chat comments, have been asking me to do videos on like explaining my code. And I'm very like humbled, and thank you for thinking that I know what I'm doing. But I want to tell you right now that I'm not the person to go to for like tutorial stuff. I'm not good at coding. I'm still learning. There's a lot of other people who are way better. Off the top of my head, I've watched Web Dev Simplified a lot. He makes things really simple. I was just watching Fun Function. That guy makes things really simple. He's really smart. And then the Odin project itself has a whole Discord where you can go and ask questions and get help from people who know what they're doing. So even though it makes me very happy that you guys want to like learn about my coding, I'm not the one to teach you to code. Believe me, That's what I've been learning these last couple weeks. So then the last thing I want to bring up is that the Twitch, I've been streaming. So if you do want to see me code, you can come and watch my stream. It's pretty much every weekday from like 10 Eastern to like 5 or 6. I code for like 5 or 6 hours a day, or stream. I stream my coding for like 5 or 6 hours a day. So if you want to see live coding, come check out the Twitch. I'm still not allowed to put links in my videos, like in the description, so it should be somewhere on my profile and my Twitter and stuff like that. So we have a lot of fun over there. I get a ton of help from people in the chat, and we look at AI art, which is fun. We do prompts and stuff of AI art while I'm coding. We take breaks, you know, it's a lot of fun, and it's been popping off. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, everybody. The Twitch and the YouTube has been popping off way more than I thought it would. I did not expect to get as much traffic as I'm getting, so I just wanted to thank you all for being here and showing all your support. I get a lot of really awesome comments, and it's awesome. So I'm glad to have all of you here, and thank you again. And hopefully I will be back with another video within the next 2 weeks. If not, just know it's because I want good content in the video, so I'm working on projects in order to make a good video, if that makes sense. All right, cool. Well, thanks everybody, and I'll see you later.